My name is Ming, and today in this presentation, I will discuss the topic of the global rise of anime by connecting and referencing theories and concepts learned within Week 7 lecture Global Film. And here's all the content that will be covered within this presentation. Now, I first conceptualized the idea for this research primarily due to my own interest in the anime medium. I've grown up consuming the media, and as I grew older and observed the slow rising mainstream of anime, a small thought at the back of my mind wondered how this once obscure medium has crawled its way up to the big league. Hence, this presentation will present the research findings on what factors drove the global rise of anime through answering the research question, how has the work of Hayao Miyazaki, a highly acclaimed anime director, contributed to anime's global popularity? From my readings, I was surprised to learn about how Asian media such as anime affects and plays a role in the life of international audiences. For instance, according to an article detailing Asian pop culture by BuddyNet, he concludes that international audiences consume Asian media to create a multicultural society within which consuming Asian popular culture will no longer be deemed abnormal. Using BuddyNet's findings, we can connect this theory to anime culture, taking into consideration of most Western nations becoming more progressive in terms of diversity, while simultaneously anime is also growing prominence. One can safely deduce that this makes anime a suitable growing mainstream media to be consumed by Western audiences who are in search of creating multicultural societies. Hence, this attributes as to why anime is growing globally at such a rapid pace. Another instance that demonstrates the charm of anime was stated by Pellitteri, where he claimed that for many international audiences, anime and their characters could be considered as childhood heroes to them, monuments of their youth that span back to the 1970s. Shows like Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, and Cowboy Bebop are prime examples of nostalgic show. This information extracted from the work of Pellitteri was useful for my designated research question and topic, since I learned of the long-lasting culture that anime has, which demonstrates this medium's prestige in many eyes, and hence it could be said that anime will run into less challenges regarding intercultural interactions and communications across cultures, since more people will be susceptible to consume media that has a respectable history of merits with long-standing fan bases to back up its quality, which in turn making it easier to appeal to an oblivious global audience. Now, despite finding out factors that could lure anime to people, I was also curious as to whether there are any factors that instead lure people to anime. And according to a reading by Wang and Ye, the authors discussed about the concept of cultural hybridization and how they are often used within Asian media to create a brand new hybridization of cultural products that appeases its forebears with global and contemporary standards. So how does this correlate to anime? Well, from the theory learned from Wang and Ye, it wasn't a stretch to think that the strive for cultural inclusion on a global scale and formation of transnational media could be found within anime and perhaps even the works of Hayao Miyazaki. My finding is backed up by an article written by Dennison, where he claimed that Hayao Miyazaki is an expert in incorporating cultural hybridization within his films. While this helps answer how Hayao Miyazaki contributes to anime's global appeal, as evidently, cultural hybridization facilitates as a gateway to connect with multicultural audiences. And according to Dennison, Miyazaki incorporated European literature within his films under a cultural hybridization process as seen within movies such as Howl's Moving Castle. Now, why is Miyazaki so obsessed with European literature? Well, perhaps it is for the sole purpose of discussing themes that extend past the national constraint of Japan and into Western and possible global themes. This effectively makes Miyazaki's works an example of transnational media that resonate with a wider array of audiences than just Japanese people. And additionally, Miyazaki's transnational films also work to address the challenges of intercultural interactions and communication across cultures, such as xenophobic people being less lenient to explore foreign media. And by incorporating representation from multiple cultures, it makes even xenophobic people more lenient to watch these works of anime, and since this representation of their own culture, hence again contributing to the appeal of Hayao Miyazaki's works and anime in general that expands internationally. So what has this research taught us? Well, personally speaking, after my research, I've become extremely more open-minded towards cultural diversity within media. I never understood why I was so short-sighted in the past towards transnational media, especially when, by opening the national boundaries and incorporating references from different cultures, not only would it help films to be more globally appealing through screen time multicultural representation, but will also open more spaces for narrative potential within media, such as more source materials to reference. Hence, there really shouldn't be any reason to reject cultural diversity within media, since as audience, transnational media tend to have the most narrative and political correctness potential, which satisfies all types of watchers, such as myself. But naturally, this research isn't only made for me, it's also to educate you watchers right now. And I'm certain that while most of you have heard of anime, more often than not, more than half of you haven't watched anime due to either negative preconceptions and stereotypes that the medium has received over its lifespan. And while I can't fault you for thinking so, even I have to admit that there's many odd features within anime, Not only so, for most people, it is also incredibly difficult to interact interculturally through media due to either xenophobia, fear of the unknown, or just simply refusal to go out of one's comfort zone or comfort media. And while these challenges are definitely valid, don't get me wrong, the flaws simply do not invalidate the goods. And that's the message I'm trying to transmit by showing how anime are capable of providing thought-provoking and globally appealing works of transnational media such as Hayao Miyazaki's films. And hopefully this will make people stop generalizing anime basing off its shortcomings and instead focuses on its merits. Therefore, from what we've learned, it is safe to conclude that anime's global attraction mainly derives from its method of seamlessly weaving global themes into their stories in order to appeal to a global audience, mainly through cultural hybridization, since it is a unique method in storytelling at opening narrative potential by providing source material from multiple cultures while appealing and paying homage to these very same cultures, as often seen within globally acclaimed culturally hybridized works of Hayao Miyazaki. It's all the written source, and with all that said, thank you for watching.